Before I start this video, I'd like to thank you guys so much for 50 subscribers. I've been working really hard to get to this point. I thank you for all of you guys who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. I do Oscar videos all year long, as well as film reviews and a couple other ranked lists. Make sure to go check out my Wes Anderson ranked. And yeah, thank you guys so much for that, and enjoy the video. Welcome back, everybody. So I already did my full Oscar final prediction video, and the link to that is in the description, but I wanted to share first some of the changes I actually made to my prediction. First of all, I'd like to say that almost all the nominees in the acting category I think will deserve their wins, especially in Best Actor and Best Actress. Those are all very good performances. Now, if you watched my last video, you know I picked Chadwick Boseman for Best Actor, but now my thoughts have changed a little bit. I think that Anthony Hopkins might take this. The reason being, more people see him as the best, and that's been corroborated by some of the unanimous ballots, and while those don't mean the world, the fact that there is clear support for him both from some voters, from the BAFTA, and the fact that The Father has more overall Oscar potential, being it got nominated for Best Picture, and also got a late release date, and recency bias can obviously help with that. So I'm saying it's going to be Anthony Hopkins, but it's like 55-45 for me. It could easily be Chadwick, and I would definitely not be upset at that at all. In Best Actress, I'm still not biting for Andra Day, seeing the film's weaker performance and reviews alongside her lack of precursor nominations. I'm going with Carrie Mulligan still, so this isn't a change, but the fact that she won The Spirit breaks it a little bit for me. Obviously, The Spirit doesn't mean everything. There isn't much crossover with the actual Oscars. There's very little. A lot of people are talking about how there's a good amount of film Twitter people who pay to vote for these awards, and there's a good amount. And obviously, Carrie Mulligan seems to have the most dominance there. But seeing that, I'm seeing how, you know, it's impossible to predict this. I'm just going to stick with Carrie Mulligan for now. I would definitely love to see Viola win the Oscar. Andra Day winning the Oscar again would be great. And Frances, you know, I think it's my personal favorite performance, but we'll have to see. For editing, I'm now going with Trial of Chicago 7. I think the trial, the editing that went around the Sorkin dialogue was very well done. And I think the fact that it won the ACE and also tied the Critics' Choice means that I think it will end up taking this. It's something that stands out more as an editing winner compared to Sound of Metal, so I think that the average viewer slash voter, when looking at best editing, is going to think of Trial of Chicago 7 and all the cuts that are made around the dialogue. I hate to rain on everyone's parade, but original song will not be Husavik. I just really don't. There's very little support for it in the Academy. It was a very small movie, even if everyone thinks it's one of the best. I do stick with One Night in Miami. That would be my advice to you personally. I'm also going with Concerto is a Conversation now in short documentary, because I don't think anyone will really dislike it. People might think it's not being impactful enough as some of the other ones, but I don't think anyone's going to really hate it. I think there's more potential with some of the other ones to think they're not very good. As far as upsets that I think are possible, The Father and adapted screenplay, for sure. It wouldn't be that much of an upset. They're about equal right now, I'd say. I'm still going with Nomadland just because how much that has been the titan of Best Picture, and I can see it just dominating almost everything it's in, except for maybe some of the tech categories, but I do see it still taking cinematography despite its loss at the ASC, which happened after my predictions video where Mank won, but I don't think that's going to be the most indicative of its win because, one, director and cinematography often go together, and secondly, I think Nomadland just has more momentum in general for that award. As far as Best Picture upsets, I could see a Minari or Trial of Chicago 7 one brewing. The reason being, I could see a potential where Nomadland gets put lower on a lot of people's preferential ballots, and Minari and Trial of Chicago 7 end up being at least 5 or higher, I think, on the vast majority of ballots. I think same would go with The Father, though I think people aren't going to put it as number one as much, even though I definitely know there's some people who love that film. So I could see The Father honestly winning up to like 3 awards. Picture is very unlikely. I think it could easily win actor and best adapted screenplay. We'll have to see. Yeah. Anyways, so those are my opinions, some of my changed predictions. It'll be very interesting to see who wins. You know, I'm very excited to see whoever wins, especially in the acting categories, as I said before, will definitely deserve it. I want to, again, state my upset nature with some of the snubs. specifically with films like I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which wasn't nominated for what I would give it easily: screenplay, cinematography, makeup, and editing. And I understand it wasn't everyone's thing as a movie as a whole, so I can understand not giving a picture or director, but I personally would as well. Again, Netflix didn't think apparently was worth considering it wasn't even on their for your consideration page. That's a lot of saying consider it, but it's just a little frustrating to me. Delroy Lindo, again, you know, he's a clear snub from Best Actor. Easily should have been in there over someone like Gary Oldman. I personally put him over Steven Yeun as well, maybe even Anthony Hopkins personally. And the rest of the Defy Bloods film was snubbed. I think Defy Blood cinematography specifically would have been a much better pick than something like Trial of Chicago 7. Yeri Han from Minari was great, just as good as Steven Yeun in my eyes, and should have been getting just as much recognition as him, even though I love that he did get the recognition. Cajillionaire was a very overlooked film from Focus Features. It was a great film. I really enjoyed it, one of my favorites of the year. Make sure to go check out that if you haven't. Feels Good Man is a great documentary, my favorite documentary ever right now. I haven't watched a lot, but it's my favorite ever, my favorite of that year. And, you know, it's been a long Oscar season, so you should check that out because it was missed out for Best Documentary. Anyways, it's been a long Oscar season. I'm looking forward to next year and predicting some of the movies that haven't come out, because I think that's a little more fun, because otherwise we're talking about, oh, who's better, but I think it's everyone's personal opinions, even though there's some clear, more consensus picks, like I think Anthony Hopkins is, and for Best Actor, for example, I think Carrie Mulligan, at least among film Twitter, seems to be the #1 consensus pick of who should win. And we'll see how much the Oscars correlate. I'm very much looking forward to next year, though, and watching all of the movies. Show each other love in the comments. If you disagree with any of my takes, make sure to go, or anyone else's takes, make sure to let me know. Just please do it in a respectful way. That's all I ask. But I encourage discussion and disagreements. That's how we're able to, you know, make this thing fun, but we also don't want to make it toxic. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll be doing a live stream of the Oscars with my friend Aiden. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.